Hello, Commanders, and welcome back to Ranked Play with Matthremar. We're on to episode 4, and we have a season reset. So we've got Season 2, Fury of the Elements. I've already burned through all of my saved up XP, and we are ready to roll. So let's see what we come up against. I'm using the same build that I was up using a couple days ago. Okay, we've got your Snow Globe build, Mind Corruptor with a Barrier Monk. Looks like that's an Arcane Archer with a Druid skin behind the 11 there. And the Cannoneer. You got your Drummer tagged to your Thorn Guards for defense up front. You've got Plague Bearers as a flank guard and Shield Bearers in the back. Normally, I see most folks using Plague Bearers just because they walk slower, and they'll catch Risen Warriors better, but he may have slow on him, I don't know. He may not have anything like that at all, and it may be working just fine for him. So he's got 2 sustained DPS units between the Archers and the Hammer Throwers. And his Frenzy units are the Cannoneer, the Arcane Archer, and the Mind Corruptor. So this build is designed around making it to Frenzy, getting to that point where those 3 units usually carry the day. So my Frost Wizard is going to shred, help shred those Thorn Guards with my ECs. It just totally negates the reflective damage, and down they go. So now we're moving right through. We're going to see a couple of my units pop over to the other side, but the Crown's going to heal them. And we should have this one in hand. We're moving very well. Steamrolling, and we got it. Now, I don't always win these battles. It just depends on who gets mind controlled when, but it seems like the trend is that I usually win these ones. But that doesn't negate the fact that it is an excellent build. It's going to beat a lot of other armies. Obviously, they're here for a reason. Let's do another one. I cracked my nuts. Let's take a peek. This is kind of the meta right now. Oops, didn't get my screenshot. So again, same deal. Has a lot of the exact same units. You can see I'm struggling a bit with a few of my ECs, but they're clinging on. That Frost Wizard totally overwrites those Thorn Guards, but it looks like I'm going to get mowed over this time. And you see, from one battle to the next, it can totally change. It all depends who gets mind controlled when. And looks like I'm going down this time. So yeah, again, solid build. There's a lot of people using that in this top bracket. Okay, Sunny. I think this is the first time Sunny's been featured on any of these episodes. Okay, we've got a decoy squad down here. It appears like. Looks like it's just intended to draw us down to that point of the map and tag us with Plague. There's not really any need to drag us to that particular point on the map. I'm not seeing any other things that require me to go there. I almost wonder why Sunny doesn't have the squad up here in order to pull me further away. Like if there was if on my side of the map there was a swarm, you would want all those units to be pulled as far away from this corner camp as possible. So that's kind of confusing to me. I don't know if there's a reason why that unit of Plague Bearers is there. Okay, you've got your Frost Trap. Notice that little Frost Trap right there. That's to catch your Assassins and Risen Warriors. The Crystal Spire usually will take out most things, along with the Molten Armor once those things become visible, and which is incredibly useful to protect everything. Everything in here is going to be getting regular heals because I'm sure he's got Toe. Yep, Toe right there, and the Arcane Reconstruction Hammer with Pendant. So this entire build is meant to use the Spider's Nest, which is kind of in between the Soul Pylons. The Spider's Nest fluctuates you up and over the Toe threshold, which gives you that heal every time you cross back over it. So, or under it. I think at level 3 you can get, I think it's like a 60 or 70% heal. We can take a peek at that after the battle. But this is meant to be a rapid fire cannon. You got 2 soul pylons that'll crank out the corpses of those spiders that die at the hand of the draining spirit, and off they go. I'm probably going to lose to this one. I've got so few units that those soul pylon orbs have less targets to hit, and they're going to hit them often. So there's a good chance I'm going to lose this one. The walls heal on this. That's another interesting note with the toe in its present condition. It heals even the walls. So even if I got up there, I'm going to have to take down those walls possibly several times because he's got that arcane reconstruction hammer. So the toe heals the walls and the molten armor over and over and over again. That you can't really heal the molten armor any other way. I'm not even sure if druids can heal the molten armor. So it's very solid design. Obviously there's some serious weaknesses to this because you've got all of your power units in that one little corner. Now the frost trap will solve a lot of that, but if you've got Primal Warhorn on and you've got that even fraction of a second of invulnerability at the beginning of the battle, you're toast. So I don't obviously have those, so let's see how I do. I think I've got maybe a 10% chance of winning this. Okay, boop, boop, boop. Here we go. Again, Plague Bearers are just meant to delay you slightly until those orbs can get cranking, and you're going to see my dudes get shredded. Just heavy, heavy DPS, and I've got so few units that it just gets funneled right into them, and poof, I'm dead. So great build. Obviously there's a few key weaknesses to that, but are there enough of these builds for people to warrant putting assassins in both corners? And yeah, so it's a very, very tight build. Good job, Sonny. Okay, let's go again. Doomtastic. Let's take a peek. Again, another snow globe. You got your Mind Corruptor in the middle of a bubble. Trying to see what that is. Is that a Stormcaller? It's hard to tell what that skin is. I think it's a Stormcaller. Then we got the Druid. We've got Thorn Guards without a drummer. Okay, we've been seeing a lot of drummers attached to those Thorn Guards. Okay, you got your sustained DPS units with the hammer throwers and 2 sets of archers. Wolves in the back. Now that's interesting because they run very fast. So that's a little confusing to me. I'm not sure what that's all about. Normally you'll have Plague Bearers or Shield Bearers, typically Plague Bearers, just because they walk slower, and they'll also catch the Risen Warriors in addition to the Assassins. And then your Plague Bearer flank guard there. So yeah, typical Snow Globe build, very effective against a lot of armies. We don't have a drummer, so I'm going to probably go through that front line very quickly with my particular build. But there are a lot of high-level units. I mean, I think that's a level 13 Mind Corruptor? Or higher. It's either 13 or 15. Looks like 13. So, yeah, that would be impressive to have a level 15 Mind Corruptor. But yeah, I think it's 13. So he's going to be turning my units faster than normal. But I think I've got a good shot at this just because I don't see a drummer. So let's go. And poof. Down go the Thorn Guards. Also the Wolves. And we're now heading into the Snow Globe. Mind Corruptor's down. Victory is mine. You know, you see this build all the time because this build works a lot of the time. Again, the reason I have the build that I have is because it works against this most of the time. You just saw me lose to somebody else with it. So, all right, let's do another one. Camulos. Okay, this one is going to have some new features because we haven't been up against very many Death Knights. You used to see them a lot a couple weeks ago, but now you're not seeing as many. Okay, we've got your Unholy Trinity with the Primal Warhorn, the Skull of the Necrolord, and the Devourer. So what we're looking at here, you've got a swarm of units with the Death Knight adding more units, and they are all going to be funneling towards getting to that Devourer. The Devourer is fantastic, especially because it usually pops towards the end when you've got Frenzy, and it just pounds everything to death, unless you've got some very resilient units. So this build that I have, it's what's going to happen here is if I can get the Death Knight down, I win. If the units swarm around me and the Death Knight kind of gets hung back, I lose. So, or I will most likely lose. Sometimes I can still pull it off, but looks like he's just got the Risen Warriors on the top and the bottom, because and these ones are more forward than the others. The reason for that is because the bulk of his army is towards the top. So any archers that would be, or any ranged units that would be on this side of the map are going to end up right where those bottom Risen Warriors are going to pop, because they're going to be drawn to this bulky army right here. These Risen Warriors are further back because the ranged units would be further back. So he's got those spaced very well. Got a lot of Chaos units. Got the dogs for the initial help on the swarm. With that Primal Warhorn, he's going to have a couple seconds of immunity, so those dogs get a lot of bang for their buck. And they provide a lot of corpses, both on your side and his side, for the Death Knight to turn. So, excellent build. Got a couple of, or one set of Plague Bearers in the back just to catch the assassins, protect his Death Knight. Yeah, really solid build. Let's see how we do. Okay, again, if I can get that Death Knight down, it's a guaranteed victory. If I can't, before most of my units are gone, I'm toast. Okay, Death Knight's going down. Poof, I win. Whew, okay, yeah, sometimes it gets a little dicey. Most of the time, I think like 75% of the time, that Death Knight is just out of reach for me, and I'm just like, oh, if I could just tag him, I'd win. So yeah, and there goes the Devourer. All right, hey, solid build, man. It works a lot of the time, obviously, because you're in the top 200 range. Let's hit another one. Okay, Bivik screenshot, and let's have a look. Okay, another Snow Globe build. Not seeing the usual Plague Bearers that would be right here for a flank. It looks like he's got those forward. I think, I mean, that would be useful for a lot of reasons, just to get Plague cranking on your side of the battle, on your enemy side of the battlefield. But yeah, you've got your usual drummer that you see tagged onto those Thorn Guards. That makes them last a long time. It's trying to buy your time till you get to Frenzy. And then you've got your Cannoneer, your Mind Corruptor, and I think, is that a... no, that's another Hammer Thrower. No? It's got different boots, so that's probably the Arcane Archer right underneath the crown. Then you got your 2 sustained DPS units between your Hammer Throwers and your Archers, and your Rear Guard, which is to catch your Assassins and Risen Warriors. So yeah, another Snow Globe build, slightly different with those Plague Bearers up front. I think I've got this one, but again, sometimes the Mind Corruptor just catches the wrong units at the wrong time, and down I go. But I'm pretty sure I'll have this. But, and again, the reason you're seeing this build all the time is because it works. It's a very dependable build, and it will get you some serious mileage in the rankings. So yeah, he's catching my dudes a lot, and wrong timing, but I might be able to swing it. Okay, there we go. We're moving in. And right before Frenzy popped, so we're good. We got the Cannoneer and the Mind Corruptor. If it had been just a couple more seconds of delay, it could have been a very different battle. Solid build. Let's do one more. I'm trying to keep these down to 15 minutes, so let's just do one more. Some pig. Sounds like a Charlotte's Web reference. Okay, we have a swarm build with the Unholy Trinity. We've got Primal Warhorn, Skull of the Necrolord, and Devourer. So we are funneling a ton of units into the meat grinder in order to make that Devourer pop. Death Knight contributes tremendously to that because all of your corpses and his corpses are contributed. I'm not seeing a whole lot of wraiths. So I'm thinking I've got this one. Now, the If he had all of his units right up at the front, including the Death Knight, I would be in trouble. But the way that he's got it set up, he's basically lined up his dudes single file. And I don't know, what was the movie, Indiana Jones or something, where it's not the Raiders of the Lost Ark where he shoots the one dude. It's the one where he shoots, I think it's Last Crusade, where he shoots through a whole bunch of dudes with one bullet. So he's basically got everybody single file. They're just going to be funneled into the meat grinder in an orderly fashion. And I'm going to just grind through his units, and he's not going to have too much left by the time his Death Knight gets to me, which makes the Death Knight easier to take down, which preserves my toe heal. Well, not toe heal, but crown heal. And I think I'm going to have this one. If he had more Wraiths, I'd be worried. And if he had more of his stuff up front, I'd be worried. But with my particular build, I think I've got it. So let's go. Boom. Again, look, I'm just grinding his units down in orderly fashion. He doesn't have me encompassed. Normally, if I'm surrounded totally, I'm in trouble. And also, my Frost Wizard is in my Paladin's Healing Aura, which means he's going to be alive for a while. Death Knight's down. Yeah. So, I mean, he can't obviously just cater his build to beating my army. But if I was to say if he wanted to beat my army, it would be just a couple of tweaks to do that. So, again, moving more of those units up to the front so that he's not delaying them and feeding them slowly in. The whole point of the swarm build is to overwhelm as quickly as possible. So yeah, there was some great battles, great commanders. Good job, guys. You've got some fantastic armies. There's a reason you're up here where you are. If you guys are liking this content, please like and subscribe. Do hit the notification bell if you want notifications for when I drop new videos. If you guys have something you want me to try, throw it down in the comments. We'll see if I can implement it effectively. I've got some pretty decent units to work with. I obviously don't have as high level units as a lot of these guys. My artifacts are the only things that are really carrying me with my unit levels, because you can see I've only got 8s, 9s, and 10s. So thank you for watching. Please help me build my channel. We're aiming to get to that 1,000 subscriber mark. It's gonna take us a little bit of time to get there, but the sooner we get there, the more content I can provide. So thank you, everybody. Appreciate you watching, and we will have some more soon.